WWE screws LA Knight John Cena to make his final appearance on WWE SmackDown this week. Carmella gives birth to a baby boy. Gunther to lose the Intercontinental Championship without getting pinned. The Bloodline brutally bashed. WWE to punish Logan Paul for his bold actions with the US Championship. Kishi involved in the Bloodlines' eventual end. Let's jump right into it. John Cena to make his final appearance on WWE SmackDown. John Cena's latest run in WWE has been memorable and exciting. Over the past few months, he has shared the ring with LA Knight, Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa, and many more. However, this week's episode could mark his final appearance for a while. John Cena has consistently appeared on WWE SmackDown following his comeback. During this run, he has teamed up with LA Knight, fought Jimmy Uso, hosted Payback, and most recently, wrestled Solo Sikoa at Crown Jewel. The Nation leader could not emerge victorious in Saudi Arabia as the Enforcer delivered yet another dominant performance. It was recently announced that the SAG-AFTRA strike was set to end after nearly 4 months. Several actors will now resume their movie projects, including John Cena. The upcoming episode of Friday Night SmackDown could see the Nation leader address the crowd and possibly tease his in-ring retirement. After suffering a shocking loss against Sikoa, he could go on a hiatus from the squared circle. This would allow him to resume his acting career and portray the Enforcer as a legitimate threat to the WWE roster. The Nation leader has been putting over up-and-coming talent since returning to the Stanford-based promotion. He has racked up more losses than wins over the past few years. However, Bully Ray believes Cena's recent defeat did not harm his credibility as a performer. On the Busted Open podcast, the WWE Hall of Famer mentioned that Cena and Solo Sikoa benefited from facing each other at Crown Jewel. Sikoa took a massive step forward by pinning the former champion. On the other hand, the veteran earned fans respect and admiration for his selfless act. Another premium live event the company is gearing up for this month is Survivor Series War Games. Fans are hopeful that Cena will participate in the show. WWE recently reported that the veteran was discussed to appear in Chicago, but presently there is no word if he will show up on November 25. It remains to be seen what else will happen on WWE SmackDown in the coming weeks. Bobby Lashley, Rhea Ripley, and several other superstars reacts as current WWE star gives birth. The WWE Universe hasn't seen Carmella on TV since she was pulled out of her WrestleMania Showcase match in April. The former SmackDown Women's Champion later revealed that this was because she was expecting a baby boy. Earlier today, she took to Instagram to announce that he had arrived. Carmella shared an image of herself and her husband, Corey Graves, holding their little boy, Dimitri Paul Polinsky. The WWE star also revealed that she had been in labor for 60 hours before welcoming her son, who weighed 8 lol. Many WWE superstars have been waiting for this day along with Carmella and sent their best wishes to the couple following their son's safe arrival. The likes of Big E, Bobby Lashley, Rhea Ripley, Edge, and Shinsuke Nakamura commented on the star's post. Alexa Bliss, Angelo Dawkins, Damian Priest, Piper Niven, R-Truth, Mandy Rose, Cassie Lee, Maria Kanellis, and many more current and former WWE superstars have also sent in their congratulations. Carmella has been very open about her struggles to have a child in the past. After suffering an ectopic pregnancy last year, the star ensured that she enjoyed every minute of her latest pregnancy, sharing numerous images of her body as it changed over the past 9 months. The Princess of Staten Island is already a stepmother to Corey Graves' daughters following their marriage, but the couple pushed for a child of their own together. This year, despite being booked for a spot at WrestleMania, Carmella stepped away from the ring to welcome her first child. The former SmackDown Women's Champion has expressed her desire to return to the ring in the future, but has made it clear that she is in no rush. Gunther to lose the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther is the current WWE Intercontinental Championship. He has defeated several opponents for the gold and has even surpassed legends to become the longest reigning IC champion of all time. However, all things must come to an end. As for the ring general, he could lose the title but not the match. The Miz recently became the new challenger for Gunther's Intercontinental Championship on this week's Raw. He defeated Ricochet, Ivar, and Bronson Reed on the way to the top. However, the Awesome One couldn't celebrate the win for a long time as the Viking Raiders member attacked him. They are now scheduled to fight in a singles match next week, which could lead to more. The four-way contenders match ending on Monday Night Raw saw a possible botch, wherein Ricochet kicked out from Ivar's pin. This could also be why next week's singles match is scheduled, which could have the same outcome. Both men could be counted out and lose the match to spark a debate on who should be the rightful challenger for the IC title. Adam Pearce could settle their differences by scheduling a triple threat match at Survivor Series instead. During the action, the ring general could lose without getting pinned by having the Miz pin Ivar instead or vice versa. In this manner, Gunther could retain his status of not being pinned and move on to the bigger picture. He could then begin a feud with Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, which could accumulate at Royal Rumble or WrestleMania 40. The ring general has proven his worth as a dominant superstar who is never afraid to defend his title, a quality fitting for a double champion. However, he is not interested in becoming one. While speaking with Steve Fall of 10 Count, Gunther said he is not interested in facing Seth Rollins if he remains Intercontinental Champion. He reasoned that the World Heavyweight title is still relatively new, and there's no interest in merging it with a different title. The Intercontinental Intercontinental Champion said on WWE's The Bump that he is looking forward to his match with the A-lister and views the latter as one of the greatest stars in the company. However, the Austrian star also said his opponent could step away from the limelight following their match. It remains to be seen what will transpire with the Intercontinental Championship scene in the coming weeks. The WWE Universe convinced the Bloodline have lost their ranking as best stable. Many WWE fans believe another stable has taken the Bloodline's place as the most powerful group in the company. Roman Reigns has relied on the Bloodline to remain the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, but the group has lost some of its power as of late. Jey Uso jumped to Raw from SmackDown after his brother betrayed him during the Tribal Combat match against Reigns at SummerSlam. The Tribal Chief successfully defended his title against LA Knight this past Saturday at Crown Jewel, but once again relied on his stablemates to help him get the job done. The Judgment Day has been proving its dominance for months now on Raw. Every single member of the group currently holds a championship, and many fans believe they have overtaken the Bloodline as the most powerful faction in the company. WWE shared a clip from the Judgment Day's victory over New Day this past Monday on Raw and claimed that the group now runs the company. Wrestling fans took to Instagram to react to the video, and many agreed that the Judgment Day was now the more powerful faction. However, some fans still believe that the Bloodline is the better group as seen in the image here. Wrestling legend Rick Kishi was recently asked if he intends to return to the promotion to help the struggling faction. Rick Kishi is the father of the Usos, and Solo Sikoa in real life could feel compelled to return to help his sons down the line. In an exclusive interview with Sportskeeda Wrestling's Bill Apter, Rick Kishi was asked about a potential return but opted to remain silent. "Well, I'd have to go," press his finger to lips, Rick Kishi said. "I'd have to go silent on that. As of now, Roman Reigns is not scheduled for a match at Survivor Series 2023 in Chicago on November 25th. Only time will tell what the promotion has planned for Reigns and his faction at the premium live event later this month. Which faction is your favorite in WWE? Let us know in the comments section below. WWE to punish Logan Paul for his bold actions with the U.S. Championship. Logan Paul defeated Rey Mysterio for the United States title last week at Crown Jewel. Since it's his first WWE title win, it's understandable that his celebration could last for a while. As it turns out, he has incorporated his title into his daily life. Taking to Instagram, Logan Paul posted mature photos with the United States Championship. He was seen hugging the belt while asleep with his wife, Nina Agdal, and the most X-rated one is of him taking a shower with nothing more than the title. The Mavericks posts are not for children or a PG audience, but it's not a new occurrence. In the past, Shawn Michaels has done the same with the Winged Eagle WWE title. Mandy Rose also did it with the NXT Women's Championship. Neither star got into trouble, which means there is little chance of the YouTuber getting in trouble either. Additionally, Logan has not defaced the title. For those wondering, WWE has since released Mandy Rose, but not due to the mentioned photo with the women's title. She was let go due to her fan-time content that breached the company's moral code. The Maverick has only recently begun wrestling and has had limited training. Despite this, he has impressed fans and professionals with his performances. However, Booker T wasn't surprised by his performances. While on the Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T said the latter could work from multiple perspectives. "I'm not surprised the Maverick, this guy, can work from multiple perspectives. He can go out and perform inside the wrestling ring. I think he can go out and box. I think he even got a little MMA in his background as well, as he's one of the biggest podcasters I think out there ever. Yeah, YouTuber's my bad. This guy's got it going on, so I see the WWE being able to use this kid in so many different ways," she said. After Logan won the title, he told the Daily Mail that although he wanted to be humble about his victory, it was much better to be arrogant. He promised that the title wouldn't leave his side and vowed to take over the wrestling industry. It remains to be seen what will happen next in the United States title scene now that Paul is the new champion. WWE's decision to put the U.S. Championship on Logan Paul makes sense for one sole reason. Former WWE Tag Team Champion Reem Dupree recently addressed Logan Paul becoming the United States Champion. The Maverick kicked off his in-ring career in the Stanford-based company last year. He has since shared the ring with several top superstars, including Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and The Miz. On November 4, 2023, Paul defeated Rey Mysterio to capture the United States Championship at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. On his Cafe de Reen podcast, Dupree speculated that the social media star winning the title was a business decision due to his popularity. He's really popular, right? He's got a lot of social media following. Everybody knows who he is. The Prime drink is like #1. It's a business decision, right? Makes sense. It's an entertainment company. It's not a wrestling company and they're worldwide, so it doesn't matter how good you can, reverse a hold anymore. It matters how many social media followers you have and you know what I mean, how you can grow their brand. So that's what WWE is. Logan Paul made an ambitious promise after winning the United States Championship. Despite not being a full-time WWE superstar superstar, Logan Paul has impressed many with his performances inside the squared circle, including Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff. The former Raw general manager praised the Mavericks' performance at Crown Jewel on the latest episode of his 83 Weeks podcast. "I just don't understand how he's become as phenomenal as he is with such a limited amount of experience and time in the industry. It's not just that he can go in there and athletically perform, which he does exceedingly well, but he's got psychology. He's got the timing of a 25-year-old top performer. He knows how to work the crowd. It's natural for him. He doesn't have to learn it. It's already there." Kishi could be involved in the Bloodlines' eventual end. There aren't many modern-day WWE factions that have come close to having the Bloodlines' impact. All good things, though, must eventually come to an end, and Teddy Long feels Kishi needs to play a role in the faction's demise. Despite a few massive speed bumps, Roman Reigns is still flanked by Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and Paul Heyman, with Jey Uso being the only one thus far to have strayed away from the original lineup. Jey Uso's ouster was seen as the end of the Bloodline, with WWE also moving towards different angles within the Simone family dynamic. Teddy Long, for one, was not a fan of how the whole storyline was handled and believes there were multiple times when Kishi could have influenced the direction. "I just think the thing with the Bloodline is I don't think they broke it up right. I just found something there. There was so much more to me that you could have done with that. You could have involved Kishi in. I think that would have been the way I would have broken it up, have Kishi be the last deal." Bill Apter reminded Teddy Long that the Bloodline is still together in some shape or form, and the possibility of Kishi having the final say in the Bloodline's future could still exist. If you've been a follower of Kishi on social media, you'd know that the WWE Hall of Famer has consistently shared his thoughts on the Bloodline and how the story has been panning out on TV. Kishi's sons, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa, have been influential in the narrative and established themselves as names who pique the fans' interest. Main Event Jey has proved that he can hang with the top guys, while Solo Sikoa is quickly becoming one of the most dominant names on the roster, having beaten John Cena at Crown Jewel. Jimmy Uso might seem like the weakest of the trio in kayfabe, but his contributions to the Bloodline, from a character standpoint, have been massive. Kishi is unsurprisingly a proud father, as he posted the following tweet after Crown Jewel and sounded really happy with how the Simone family was performing in WWE. Would you like to see WWE use Kishi on TV? Sound off in the comments section below. WWE screws LA Knight. The WWE Universe recently took to Twitter to react to recent reports suggesting that legendary star AJ Styles is probably set to return this week on SmackDown. Styles was last seen on the September 22 episode of the Blue Brand, where he was brutally assaulted by the Bloodlines' Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. The Phenomenal One was supposed to team up with John Cena against Solo and Jimmy, but after he was attacked, the Cenation leader had to team up with LA Knight for the Fastlane Premium Live event. Since then, AJ Styles has been absent from WWE television. However, according to latest reports, the former Intercontinental Champion is set to return on this week's episode of SmackDown. A fan recently took to Twitter to post about Styles' potential return and other matches that are scheduled for this week's Friday night show. Twitter users were quick to take note of the post and commented on it. Most fans were convinced that AJ Styles was returning this week to start a feud with Roman Reigns. One of them thought he might show up as a heel and probably feud against LA Knight. During a recent episode of his ARN podcast, WWE Hall of Famer Arn Anderson hailed AJ Styles' in-ring work and believes the Phenomenal One doesn't get enough credit for how good a wrestler he is. AJ Styles, Anderson said, just always was very aware and respectful of his talent. I'm not sure he ever did with WWE or ever will be rewarded or understood just how good he is. He does enough flashy stuff that he really keeps you tuned in, but he also does some really cool stuff in the ring, and it's just one of those that I would watch from afar and watch how good he was and just marvel at the guy. Fans are eagerly waiting to witness Styles again on the Stanford-based promotion's television. It remains to be seen if the Phenomenal One will return this week on SmackDown and confront either Roman Reigns or LA Knight. Who do you think will be AJ Styles' next opponent in WWE?
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted.